So Obama there warning of the potential risks to foreign investment across all of Europe. Well, with me here in the studio now is Professor Peter Hahn of the London Institute of Banking and Finance. Good to see you.
Hello.
I just talked through some of the potential options on the table in terms of trade deals that we could try to negotiate. We've heard talk of the Norway deal, the Switzerland deal, the AA. Let's just go with a base case scenario. If the UK were to trade under WTO rules, where would that leave us?
Well, all of a sudden we'd be as if we were America dealing with Europe. And most of our business today is dependent on tariff and free access to Europe. So I think today we're in a very different
But on that, we are a net importer here in the UK. We're a major customer. Surely that puts us in the driving seat of any trade negotiations.
That we're a net importer. But our jobs are going to be based on how much we can export. So what we can import is what we're buying. But clearly what's most important for most people, I think, in the UK today is, will their jobs be wanted tomorrow in the UK and outside? So we're trying to, I think this debate right now, where we've gotten to is a great deal about is what's the political interpretation. But I think on the economic side, the job side, is really the debate that industry is very interested in. We don't see the economic side of it in front. We're talking much more about the political issues. And there's a concern in the economy, and that's why we've seen who are the losers, who are the winners so far, and that uncertainty is more and more around the economy than the political side.
You talk about a lot of this being seen through a political prism. Is there a sense that other EU countries do not want a Brexit to be economically successful because it could set a dangerous precedent?
Certainly. I think from the EU is a type of, it's a group organization, it's a club, if we want to call it that. And I belong to my gym. I'd love to be a member and not pay the dues. And, that's part of the way they see it. But on the other hand, it's a big swimming pool and we'd like to swim in it sometimes. So we need that type of relationship. And we're a bit lost right now. We're talking on the economic side, a lot of the details of financial services in particular. We talk a lot about things called equivalence, passporting, a lot of the technical things about whether they can do that. But we're also missing out that our culture on business is also different from the rest of the EU's.
Because, of course, exporting our financial services, that's of huge concern, not only to the City of London, but to the wider UK economy. But you talked about the detail there. It's thought that the UK will have to negotiate about 50 new trade deals in the wake of Brexit. Do we actually have the skills to do that within our current government and civil service?
Well, the debate on the treaties is really out. There's one side that looks at that and says that the EU has signed those. We've signed as part of the EU. Could we say, let's just continue with those treaties as is, even if we're no longer a member? And there's another side that says that all those trading partners might want to review it somewhat differently. So these technical sides are very, very important. But I think in the world I'm looking at mostly, which is banking and finance side, for many years in the UK, we've had a mixed banking and finance environment. We're banks, but we're also a lot of capital markets. The rest of the EU is almost entirely bank financed. We don't have big markets there. So for years, we've wanted the rest of the EU to open up their markets so that we could do our business there. Whereas today, one of the issues I'm afraid of is that they will say, thanks very much, we really don't want to give that entry.
Just one very quick question. We've already had a couple of major banks having to poo-poo stories that they were planning to move their central HQs away from London. Do you think we're going to hear many more stories like that in the months to come?
I think the rumors are certainly there. I think banks will not make any rash decisions. Certain reductions in their businesses probably will come up now. They've put off those decisions for a while.
Okay, Professor Peter Hahn, really good. to talk to you. Many thanks. There's so many details to thrash out in terms of the UK's trading relationships, not only with the EU, but the rest of the world as well. Just want to give you a quick flash of what markets are doing at the moment. And the FTSE 100 here in London, once again, really proving its resilience, edging up some 0.11%, remaining at around its highest level in a week, having completely rebounded now from that substantial sell-off that we saw on Friday and early in the week. So despite this recent turmoil, the FTSE set to end June up some 1.8% for the month, its biggest monthly gain since October, helped, of course, by its substantial stock holdings with international exposures. There, and of course, lies the difference with the UK. It's FTSE 250, but still up around 0.19%. And the dollar, that's also at the euro dollar there at 1.11. So having rebounded again a little bit. OK, that's the business for this hour. Back to you, Tim.